so my question is, are human mutations inherited or caused by the environment? And my first human mutation is SCID, and SCID is an abbreviation for severe combined immunodeficiency disorder. This disease is a band of very rare and potentially fatal inherited disorders of the immune system. This is an example of a heritable characteristics, which means that you get it passed down from your mom or your dad. And the SCID is a recessive gene, so that means there's not a lot of it. So the dominant genes will come and the recessive will just show up only once in a while. Here is an example of a recessive gene, and so the mom is the carrier of this gene because she has 2 X chromosomes, and the SCID only affects the X chromosome, so she has 2, so that if one gets affected, then she has another to back it up. But the males only have 1 X chromosome, so once that is affected, then they have the genetic disorder. And here is an example of the fishbowl. Now the effects of SCID. Ordinary people have a normal immune system, can fight off dangerous infections or viruses, but people with SCID can't. There are multiple types of SCID, but the most common is caused by mutation in the SCID X1 gene located on the X chromosome, as I said before. This gene has protein used to build a receptor called IL-2RG, interleukin-2 receptor. These 2 receptors sit on the plasma membrane of the immune cells. The receptor's job is to allow the 2 types of immune cells to communicate, the T and B cells. And together they can defend the body. And here's the visual of a normal immune system.
This is Bob. So, this is a germ, also known as an antigen. The germ enters Bob's body through a slice of pizza. Once the germ enters Bob's body, it multiplies. Fortunately, the T cells see them and call the B cells. This is a B cell. Hey! The B cell splits into 2 cells, the little fighter guy and the memory cell. The fighter cells fight the antigens and stop them from spreading disease. Once the antigens are defeated, the memory cell steps in. They take a picture of the antigen, and then they store it in their memory, so if the antigens come back, they can be defeated more easily. Finally, the killer T cell eats the dead antigens, and if it hadn't been for Bob's healthy immune system, he could be very sick. So keep your immune system healthy by eating right, exercising, and getting plenty of sleep. The end.
Now, if you had SCID, the T and B cells wouldn't communicate together, so the infection or virus that you had got would get worse and worse and worse, and you would eventually become very sick and potentially die of that. And the sad thing about SCID is that normal antibiotics that you would get when you go to the hospital if you're sick, they don't work on SCID patients. So the first step is to get away from any germ-infested areas such as like malls or daycares. And then the next step would be for a bone marrow transplant, which would be to stimulate immune cell growth, which is T and B cells. Person with SCID, it was so severe that he had to live in a bubble for 12 years. His name is David Vetter, and this is what he looked like. Now on to my second human mutation. It is called progeria, and the cause of progeria is from a single gene mutation. The gene lamin A makes a protein necessary for holding the nucleus of the cell together. And when progeria happens, the nucleus becomes unstable and produces more rapid growth. And this is what a normal cell would look like. And if you have progeria, the nucleus is not very stable, so that would look like. This is a picture of progeria. This boy is 12 years old, but he obviously looks very much older than he is. And his name is Sanford. And the statistics of wrong one. That is on to my next. dactyly. Some symptoms include lobster claw hand, which means that your middle finger would be missing, so it looks like you have lobster claws. And the cause of electrodactyly is a birth defect caused by an inherited gene mutation. The most common of inheritance is autosomal dominant, but other causes come from deletions and mutations of genes, so it means there would be extra genes added or some would be taken away, which would mess with the whole system of your body. And this is a picture of electrodactyly. And here's the x-ray, what that looks like. In the treatments, patients can undergo surgery so that they can have their middle finger replaced or put back to where it was because the bones are still there. But the sad thing is they won't ever regain feeling in their fingers, so it would be like they still are missing a finger even though it's still there. Or they can have a prosthetic to make them look more normal as possible. And the statistics are 1 in 90,000 to 150,000 births, so it's very rare. My conclusion for the introduction question is the mutations I have researched are genetic mutations. They are either passed down from parent to child or they happen because the cell cannot support itself. So yes, it is hereditary, it is not caused by the environment.
Yeah.
Nigeria?
It reminded me of Benjamin Button disease.
Oh, because he's
Just
old.
he looks so much older than 12.
Yeah, he's 12 years old. Except that is where he's going backwards, and this one is he's still going forward, and he looks that old.
Yeah.
Right?
But with Benjamin Button disease, don't you not live that old, so you don't end up looking young ever?
Yeah, I think that's fictional though, isn't it?
I thought you don't even live that old.
I think it's fictional.
Fictional,
That's a
yeah.
fictional story, but
Yeah, for his
No, it's
entire
not.
life he lived in the
Did he
bubble.
ever go to school or learn how to talk or anything?
Yeah, he would learn anything that you would learn. He would just be in a bubble in a hospital.
So he hospital school?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't